Squaresoft on March 9th, 1996, and releasing for Nintendo Switch as of November 17th, 2023. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars is a quintessential JRPG that bears no official sequel except for a remake as a result of a collab between Nintendo and then Squaresoft. By the end, went sour as a result of the Nintendo 64 games being on cartridges and the gaming industry back then switching to disc based systems because they were both cheaper and easier to develop for. This is the story of Super Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG, according to Yoshio Hongo of Nintendo, came out of Shigeru Miyamoto's desire to make an RPG game using Mario, plus Squaresoft's desire to develop an RPG that can do better outside of Japan than their previous titles. Development began in early 1994 after a business meeting between Nintendo and Squaresoft, now Square Enix. The first phase was spent on deciding a basic system, while the isometric view was chosen to help bring the world to life. To help the game fit within the Mario series, it was made to be more action and movement focused compared to Square's other RPGs. Development began in earnest during the second quarter of 1995, when the programming, story, events, and graphics data were being implemented. The game was officially unveiled by both Mario creator and producer Shigeru Miyamoto and co-director Chichiro Fujioka at the 1995 V-Jump Festival in Japan. Miyamoto led teams at Nintendo and Square who spent over a year developing the graphics. The story takes place in a newly rendered Mushroom Kingdom based on the Super Mario Bros. Series. Square reported that the game was about 70% complete in October 1995. The developers created the interior elements such as columns, stairways, and exterior elements with advanced computer modeling techniques. Special lighting effects were used to create shadows and reflections that were meant to improve the 3D elements. Shinya Takahashi, who would later become head of Nintendo SPD and Nintendo EPD, designed the game's CG models. With the guidance from Miyamoto, Square developed the game combining roleplay aspects of previous Square games like Final Fantasy VI with the platforming elements of Nintendo's games. Square's Final Fantasy series was the model for the battle sequences, while the tradition of Super Mario Bros. Games demanded a lot of action. Mario's ability to jog in 8 different directions and jump up or down in a 3/4 perspective gave him a large range of motion. At 70% completion, the mix of adventure and action gameplay elements placed it in a category closer to The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. When Nintendo of America received a 60% complete version in November, staff were surprised at the inclusion of an RPG battle system. The battle screens, using pre-rendered sprites as the rest of the game, included attack animations of the equipped weapon. In December, further development and improvements to the gameplay delayed the translation of the game. For example, the Chancellor, who was named the Mushroom Retainer in Japan, was called the Minister in North America. Plans continued through February for the North American version, changing the release date forecast from winter to spring. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars is one of only 7 SNES games outside of Japan to use the Nintendo SA1 chip. The additional microprocessor allows these features higher clock speeds, faster access to RAM, greater memory mapping capabilities, data storage, compression, and DMA modes, such as bitmap to bitplane transfer, and built-in CIC logout for piracy protection and regional marketing control. It was not released in the PAL region. Nintendo representatives cited the need to optimize the game for PAL televisions and translate it into multiple languages. Super Mario RPG became the last Super NES game released by Square in America, with Treasure of the Rudis and Treasure Hunter G as the last games released in Japan. Super Mario RPG was released on Virtual Console for Wii in Japan on June 24, 2008. It was released for the first time in Europe and Australia on August 22, 2008 on Virtual Console for Wii as part of the third Hanabi Festival. It was released on Virtual Console for Wii in North America on September 1st, 2008, with the distinction of being the 250th Virtual Console game released for in that region. Super Mario RPG was released on Virtual Console for Wii U in Japan on August 5th, 2015. In Europe and Australia on December 24th, 2015, and in North America on June 30th, 2016. It was also packed into the Super NES Classic Edition in 2017. A remake for the Nintendo Switch had been set to be released in November 2023, according to a Nintendo trailer and a Nintendo Direct that had been shown in June of 2023. Japanese audiences received Super Mario RPG well with 1.47 million copies sold, making it the third highest selling game in Japan in 1996. Its sales in the United States surpassed Nintendo's expectations. For the game's release in the middle of May 1996, the company shipped 300,000 units to retailers. Nintendo estimated a sell-through of more than 200,000 units with 1 month on the shelves. A company representative said that the title is on track to easily exceed our 500,000 target, and it may easily become a 1 million seller by the end of this calendar year. By August 24th of that year, it had been the most rented game in the United States for 14 weeks straight. Take that, Blockbuster and Hollywood Video. It went on to be the 6th best-selling video game in 1996 in the United States. Super Mario RPG received positive reviews, though its battle system and characters were criticized by a few critics. It garnered praise for its graphics and humor in particular. Nintendo Power's review commented that the excellent 3D graphics helped the game appeal to a much wider audience than most traditional RPGs. In March 1997, Nintendo Power nominated the game for several awards, including Best Graphics in a Player's Choice contest, though Super Mario 64 won Best Graphics. Electronic Gaming Monthly praised the graphics, stating that they are the best seen on the Super NES. Scary Larry of GamePro gave the game a perfect 5 out of 5 in all 4 categories. OneUp.com stated that the graphic element is strong enough to resemble a Mario title, but still retains the role-playing theme at the same time. And Electronic Gaming Monthly commented on the visuals are typical of Nintendo, using clean and colorful graphics along with the nice animation. RP Gamer editor Derek Cavan called the backgrounds beautiful and stated that they perfectly bring the Mushroom Kingdom and surrounding areas to 3D. Skylar Miller from All Games stated that the graphics are absolutely outstanding with colorful 3D rendered visuals that once seemed impossible on the Super NES. This definitely is the high watermark for 3D graphics on any 16-bit system. The editor also called the music quite extraordinary in that the songs match the mood of the surrounding environment. In the Visual Console re-release, IGN's Lucas Thomas's review of the Super Mario RPG stated that the game's experience completes itself with a compelling story, a humorous attitude, and a variety of undersped mini-games that break up the adventure in action. The publication also stated that the soundtrack is spectacular and a joy to listen to, and the graphics took full advantage of the system's 16-bit technology and looks great.